Big news out of NBC, possibly. This is an interesting one. Donald Trump is calling for NBC to fire late night host Seth Meyers. Do you know who he is? I mean, he doesn't actually have a show that's tremendously popular, but I can tell you he's kind of a mean guy. I actually ran into a little incident with him back when I worked at Fox, and I dared to question why we're having a shutdown of the whole country. You know, just because CNN was out there like it was the lost plane with COVID. And by the way, these were early days and we didn't know a lot. But I'll tell you, when I see the market tanking 2,000 points because everybody's watching CNN, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, you really got to be kidding me, because there's a way to approach this crisis in a normal way, right? That's not going to cause so much pain and suffering. But this guy decided to go after me because of it. So when I say that this story kind of actually makes me a little bit happy to see, I'm not kidding. It also makes me happy because I believe he's from New Hampshire. And according to my aunt, if we can believe her, so we'll say this is alleged, okay? According to my aunt, he used to hang out with my cousin. And she caught them drinking underage in her basement, allegedly. She'd tell you, okay? So we're talking about this guy, Seth Meyers. Bad news. Kind of a wimpy little sappy pain in the you-know-what. So back when I worked at Fox, I had a hair and makeup team. And my hair was really kind of large this one particular night. Then I went on and did this commentary. I remember actually being in the dressing room and trying to comb it down, because it was a new hairdresser who I'm like, wow, I'd never seen so much teasing in my life. It was 5 inches off my head. But this little turd had to make a whole big thing of it. So the next thing you know, I'm on this particular show and he's making fun of me and my hair, which, I will say was, in fairness, a little dynasty-like. I did kind of laugh at that. But bottom line, he was trying to get me fired. He really was. That was his goal. And and it wasn't me personally. Let's be clear. It was anybody at Fox. They're out for blood. They want to take down any conservative that they can. And this was their MO. And he is a very liberal, very anti-Trump host. Now, I'm not sure why, unless maybe he knew the handwriting was on the wall. He had already made his bed. And so, once Trump were to win, that would mean the end of his career, and perhaps it is. So let me read to you what Donald Trump is saying here. There's a sick rumor going around that fake news NBC extended the contract of one of their least talented, I'd agree with that, late night television hosts out there, Seth Meyers. He has no ratings, no talent, no intelligence, no personality. Oh, he has the personality of an insecure child. Exactly. That's exactly what I was trying to say. When I say he was kind of sappy, kind of wimpy, kind of annoying. That's what it is. He's like a really insecure child. So why would fake news NBC extend this dope's contract? Don't know, but I'll definitely be finding out. Good. This made my day. I can't wait to see him go bye-bye. I wonder if his show is losing $50 million, much like Stephen Colbert was losing. These shows are too bloated. They have these massive budgets with zillions of producers, and they get people that actually write this idiot script all the time. And not just script, his jokes. Yeah. There's no originality. There's no transparency. There's no authenticity. He's reading a prompter. That's all he's good at. To read a prompter and to criticize Donald Trump and anybody who might actually like Donald Trump. They're fodder for him. So, okay, the tables have turned. I'm sorry, buddy, you're on the wrong side of this equation. You made your bed, right? You are going to lay in it. And if I'm Comcast, which is now owning NBC, I've made the decision to get rid of Versant, MSNBC. They're not even going to keep the name anymore, right? It's MS now or whatever ridiculous thing they're calling it. It's gone. I've made a decision. I want to separate myself from the sewer, right? All the people that go on and on and on, crazy rabbit holes that we had to go down thanks to a rather talented, actually, she's more talented than him, Rachel Maddow. More compelling to watch than him, for sure. So if you're trying to distance yourself from Rachel Maddow and the guy who looks just like her, Chris Hayes, and Morning Joe, etc., then why are you keeping this one? Why would you keep Seth Meyers ever? He's just costing you a ton of money. He's not getting any ratings, and he's going to make your life a living HELL. And I'm not saying, believe me, that the president should have any say over this, but he's got a point after a while. When you are constantly polluting the airwaves with one viewpoint and one viewpoint only, it gets a little nauseating. I get it if you're cable, right? If you're cable and you're Fox and you have a viewpoint, great. If you're MSNBC, no one's watching you, but great, you can go have your viewpoint. You're not governed by the FCC. The NBC channel, the network, however, is. NBC has to answer to the FCC. And if the FCC is looking at this and saying, you guys are just putting garbage on the air all the time and nobody trusts you, the American people no longer trust the airwaves, then they're going to have a leg to stand on. And so mark my words, I will not be surprised if NBC negotiates some kind of settlement with this one to get him out of the way. Again, I'm reading you what Donald Trump put out earlier today on Truth Social, writing that there's a sick rumor going around in the fake news that NBC has extended the contract of one of the least talented late night television hosts out there, Seth Meyers. Now, this is interesting because I'm going to tell you, in the television business, sometimes this happens. Like an agent might decide to put a rumor out there, oh, we're in contract negotiations, etc. And they might do this for a variety of reasons. Maybe they're trying to talk to somebody else. Maybe somebody else wants them to think that Seth Meyers is locked in. I don't know, but somebody's putting this out for a reason. And Donald Trump got wind of it. And, he doesn't have a whole lot of use for Brian Roberts, who's the head of Comcast anyway. And, he's running with it. He's running with it in a pretty significant way, to which I just kind of sit back and laugh. And given my own personal experience with this guy, kind of enjoy it. Yeah. All right. There is a mean side to me too. Little did you know, right? I'm not all as sweet as I look. But this guy is a one-note pony. And he's done nothing but criticize Donald Trump and anybody who supported Donald Trump for what? We're going on how many years? 10 years? Because you can go back to 2015, 2016. So it gets a little old. The ratings are tired. And again, if I'm NBC, what is my goal right now? To kind of keep it clean. Okay, to focus on Peacock, to focus on sports, to focus on network television news that's going to be even and balanced, if they can ever possibly get there, because 92% of the news right now is all slanted against Donald Trump. That would be my goal. So do I need a late night comedian stirring it up the way this guy is, in a way that does not help me, 1, with ratings, 2, with the president, or 3, with advertisers? No, I don't need it. Right? Gone, done, finito. That's not a hard decision to make if you're Brian Roberts at Comcast, which owns NBC. Again, think of this spinoff. Why are they doing this spinoff? Well, a couple of things. 1, the industry has changed massively. The fact that I can sit here right now and do this. Fortunately, the camera hasn't gone down. We should knock on wood yet, right? The fact that I can do this is tremendous. And it's not lost on me. It blows me away every single day, because I think about all those times when I'd work at network news, NBC News including, and I'd have to have a live truck, and it would cost thousands and thousands of dollars to have these live trucks, and zillions of cameramen and somebody lighting and somebody to do your microphone, the whole kit and caboodle, plus a team of 5 producers and an editor and this, that, and the other. And now all of a sudden, I can do this with you. Face to face, sort of, right? I can read your comments in real time, so that's real feedback. It's a whole different medium. So this is a changing landscape for media in general. So NBC has to deal with that. So yes, they're going to spin off these cable units because look, it's hard to make money in them. We see, I don't know if Fox managed to renew its deal with YouTube, but you know, a lot of these cable companies cannot even be on these platforms and make money because they are being paid by whoever, you know, is by the provider. So in other words, forgive me, the cable companies themselves, so the news companies, the cable news units, they can't actually make money via streaming, etc., because they have to make all of their money from the cable providers that pay them however many dollars per household. So think about how all that's changing, because there's a whole new way to do it. And people are like, I don't need to sit there and watch MSNBC or NBC News for that matter anymore. I can go see Trish Regan or whoever, right? Benny over here on YouTube. And there's a whole different perspective and a different kind of energy and a different kind of authenticity. And so Americans have realized that. And they're going direct. So content still matters in this environment, right? Content is king. Content will always be king. But how it's distributed has changed dramatically because you now have a position and a voice. Reminder, subscribe, share, like, all that good stuff. Make sure you subscribe. We're live every day. But this guy, he's part of the old media system now. And he's got everything stacked against him, in addition to being a highly political show when it's just supposed to be an entertainment, joke-style show. But he's not that funny, so he has to resort to politics. So he's completely changed the genre of what he's trying to do. And he's alienated a lot of people, including yours truly, in the process. And I think his days are numbered. I don't think they're going to renew him. And I think Donald Trump will have had a hand in it. And you know what? So be it. You know, what do they say? History is written by the victors. It's great to have you guys here. Make sure you go over and you check out 76 Research, my company that I started with my dear friend Rob. You know, I'm just looking at some of the NVIDIA stuff that's been coming out. It beats on the top and bottom lines. Data center revenue surging 56%, beating on earnings and revenue for the quarter, and issued guidance for the current period that topped estimates. Data center revenue soaring 56% from a year earlier to $41.1 billion, accounting for 88% of sales. This is interesting. The China stuff, watch this, and we can talk more about this tomorrow. NVIDIA said there were no sales of H2O processors to China-based customers in the period, but the company did benefit from the release of $180 million worth of inventory to a client outside of China. So NVIDIA is just an amazing company. It's just done tremendously well. I saw Don Baca talking about it in the show earlier, and we did see shares fall in some of the extended trading. In fact, it's down 2.3% right now. But you know, that's neither here nor there. It's down 2%. I think we can handle it. Go to 76 Research. Use code word dollar. Please do that for me because I want to help you. I mean, you got to be thinking about, even if it's just, you know, $10 a week, whatever you can afford, you want to be in there and out there.